The appointment of Sinwar as the new political chief for Hamas is a blow for anybody who's pushing peace in the region, is it not?
It certainly is, and I don't think anyone who's been dealing with Hamas has been talking about peace with Hamas, but there were those in the Arab world, in the moderate Sunni states, the ones that have peace with Israel, who have been talking about a plan of integrating Hamas into the Palestine Liberation Organization under the clauses of accepting the Oslo agreements between Israel and Hamas. The appointment of Yahya Sinwar puts an end to those hopes that Hamas might be moderated or might be pragmatic. Sinwar represents the most extreme elements in Hamas. He has aligned himself with the Iranians and the other proxies of Israel, even though he's been disappointed that they have not joined fully in the war against Israel. This is a blow to the people of Gaza, I believe, who were hoping that they might have a future of more moderation and hope.
And what does it mean, most importantly, for the negotiations to release those Israeli hostages still in Gaza?
I'm not sure that it changes the parameters of the negotiations, because until now, while Yahya Sinwar didn't have the only word, Hamas leaders have told me that he has the final word. And the final word has created an agreement that Prime Minister Netanyahu refuses to accept. And Prime Minister Netanyahu keeps adding additional conditions and red lines of Israel to the agreement, to the point that Netanyahu's own military chiefs are in opposition to him and believe that Israel needs to take the deal. In my own personal opinion, there needs to be a negotiated deal that doesn't spread over months but lasts for a maximum of 6 weeks, brings all the Israeli hostages home and puts an end to this war. And there are ways of doing that, but that's not what's currently on the table.
Coming back to Sinwar, he's believed to be hiding in the tunnels underneath Gaza, and as we heard there, has become Israel's #1 target. But given their failure in locating their very own hostages, are they likely to track him down?
Gaza is not that big a territory, and Israel has destroyed most of the infrastructure of most of Gaza. It is likely that sooner or later they will find where he is hiding, along with other members of the leadership. He might be surrounded by Israeli hostages. He might be in a tunnel that's booby-trapped and intends to blow it up and kill all the hostages, along with a number of Israeli soldiers. It is very unlikely that he will ever surrender. It is very unlikely that we will see him emerging from the tunnels at any point in the near future. But Israel continues its mission, collecting intelligence information, interrogating prisoners that it captures, and of course destroying more and more of the Gaza Strip in order to find him. I think the appointment of Sinwar basically means that this is going to be a fight to death for Sinwar and the Hamas leadership in Gaza.
Now, in regards to Israel and Netanyahu's future, protests against him and his government continue, but he's still firmly remaining in the job. This despite reported military anger at his lack of a day-after strategy for Gaza. Now, with Sinwar having been appointed as leader of Hamas, what does that mean for Netanyahu and his political position?
Netanyahu wants to continue this war because the longer the war continues, the longer it's clear to him that he will remain in power. The fact that the military and the national security establishment is against Netanyahu right now doesn't really mean anything, because we won't have a military coup d'etat here. We have a democratic system, and it will take a majority votes in our parliament to oust him or to call for new elections. It only requires 5 members of the ruling coalition to vote against the coalition, but it seems that the cracks that exist within the coalition are not yet ready to vote against themselves and bring about new elections, even if the majority of Israelis really want that to take place right now.
Gershon Baskin, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.